All right, hello. Welcome to Otis Frampton Live. If you're joining me from X Twitter, because I said that this would be on X Twitter today, I apologize. Failed right out of the gate. I don't know what's going on. I had it all set up to stream to multiple sources, and it just didn't work for me. So, gonna have to look into that. Many apologies for those who came here. Let me fix the camera real quick. Here we go. For those who came here from X Twitter expecting to see a show. Well, I guess I'm apologizing to people who couldn't even see it because it didn't go there, but maybe they'll see it on Rumble or YouTube. Okay. I'll have to look into that. There's got to be a way to fix that. I must not have a setting right somewhere. So we're just going to move forward here with the usual program, which it's another Makin and Talkin comics episode today. And I'm going to continue work on inking this page from Patrick Girl of Oz that I did in a previous episode. Didn't make any progress off the live stream, so I thought I'd make some progress on the live stream. And then at about the 1:45 mark, about 45 minutes, 42 minutes from now, I'll be talking about a comic that I love. And I had to kind of call an audible on which one. Let me just get going on this so I'm working and not wasting your time too much. Hold on one second. Sorry. Okay, now I can get moving. I might want to touch up the pencils in this, but let's just start. I was gonna look have. I planned on doing one comic for the Talkin portion of today's show, but I called an audible, and I'm gonna do a different one. In fact, I was actually gonna do call a total audible on the show itself and do something animation related because I found this old layout, a Photoshop file of layouts for a commission that I did a long time ago for a fan of Freddie Mercury, and I was looking at it and going, I remember doing that, and I remember sort of making it look like it was 4 shots from a piece of animation about Freddie Mercury, and I thought, well, maybe I could animate that. Maybe I could, tweak it a bit in Procreate, and then bring it into Procreate Dreams. See if I can have some fun with it. And I did a couple of tests, and I think it might work, but I don't think I'm quite ready to show my work, so to speak. So, but if you want a preview here, I can jump over here. Well, let's just re-import it from. There we go. So here's the piece, and you can see it. I drew him five times in one piece, sort of moving through one of his sort of signature moves. And I thought, God, if I put like 2 frames in between each one, I think it might look it might work, as animation, depending on the frame rate. And then I could throw a sort of a big, queen and lights behind it and make a little piece of animation. But that's not what we're doing today. We'll do that another day. Be fun though. I really love working on animation. Did I have 2 layers on here? Yes. Oh, that's why. I'm like, why? I thought I penciled this already. Yeah, I love doing animation. I'm only a hobbyist, so it's not like it's something that I do professionally. Although I did, and some of you might not know this, I did work as a background and character artist for the YouTube series How It Should Have Ended for about 7 years, I think. 7 years from 2011 to 2018, I think was the last time I did anything for them. Actually, one of the last things I did for them, I was working on my honeymoon. I had to bring my work with me. And my loving bride was very patient. We went up to Grand Marnier. Is that how you pronounce it? In northern Minnesota, to a place she loves. And I brought my iPad with me, but got the work done. And so anyway, I have worked in animation, and I did a couple of my own animated shorts for How It Should Have Ended. They kindly allowed me to do a couple of things of my own series based on something called ABCDEF Geek, which is a series of like sort of one panel, sort of Far Side-ish takes on like an alphabet book, like a child's alphabet book, but it was not for kids specifically, and it was geek stuff. Anyway, I did a couple of animated episodes based on that. But other than that, animation is just a hobby for me, and I wish I could do it more. It's not something that I'd particularly want to make a career out of. It's just fun. I just enjoy doing it. When I was also lucky enough that when Procreate added their animation to their feature set, I did a couple of pieces that caught their attention, and they eventually hired me to do a commission piece for them for Procreate 5. That was a lot of fun too. God, it was a lot of fun. Oh, just a reminder that if you're in the chat rooms on Rumble or YouTube, I am keeping an eye on it. So feel free to chat with me. And if somehow you've made it here from X Twitter and are confused as to why it's not streaming on X Twitter, I'll explain this one more time that something went wrong. It failed right out of the gate to stream to X Twitter, and I got to figure out there's some kind of setting somewhere that is not right. So got to figure that out, and I'll be tried again. If at first you don't succeed, continue trying to fail. Actually, failures. I mean, this is cliche, but it's true. Failure is a great teacher. So I don't mind failing, and I don't mind saying that I'm wrong, because that means you learn something, usually, right? I say that every once in a while to my wife. I think she's sick of hearing it. I don't mind being wrong. That means I learned something. Most people don't like being wrong or shown to be wrong because they think that it makes them look weak or something. That's not true. Making comics, making up songs about making comics. I'm sorry. When in doubt, black it out. Sometimes I feel bad about not having like music or something going on while I'm streaming, but I feel like that you gotta have a certain like setup to do that, and I just don't. I think it would garble the audio and make it even harder for me to hear. And I talk pretty softly as it is, so why risk it, you know? That said, I'm listening to music on my headphones, so you should too. Maybe I should like post a track list of what I'm listening to sometimes. So you can listen along. But I've found that I think people like it, but I tend to like operate my stuff based on what I like. And if I'm listening to somebody talk about, you know, craft or something, it actually annoys me when there's music over it. I find it kind of annoying. It's like just get to the content. You don't need to entertain me with your song choices. Again, I'm probably in the wrong. I don't really know much about this stuff. I still don't know who or what a Mr. Beast is, and I'm okay with that. I think I've actually actively avoided finding out who or what a Mr. Beast is. Apparently, he's a person, the most popular YouTuber, I guess. I honestly don't know. Couldn't pick him out of a lineup. Never have seen the content, so I don't know. But yeah, because I just don't watch that kind of content. I don't even know what he does, so because I couldn't even find it. For my YouTube consumption is usually about education tutorials, or, you know, talk about movies, things like that. You know what? I think I'm making poor Margaret look a little too plump here. That's a little better. She's got a round figure, but not that round. Oops. What? Oh, I forgot to finish this hair. Now I gotta turn back on the other. Where is it? Yeah. That's where I was. Okay, so I was inking the cat. Let's finish the cat and then we'll move on to other stuff. We did this. Okay, now I gotta tighten up these pencils a bit. It's oops. That's my little magic pencils. I gotta, but I'll be color, so I need to ink that. Okay. I think I wanted to do, actually, let's put on a different layer. So I wanted to establish where his giant book is. That'll be seen in a subsequent scene. But I want to establish it here. It's going to be lots of spells and stuff. Doesn't have to be specific yet. I don't like that. That's better. Right now I'm just tightening up these pencils so that when I throw some ink on them, I'll have a better sense of what to do. What is happening? There we go. What is... Oh, that's why. I tweaked some settings on my regular sketching pencil, and I was like, why is it not working? Because I was using the old version that I haven't deleted yet. It's funny how you can really tell sometimes the feel of a digital tool when it's not right. Sometimes I like to tweak things with the liquify tool. Push and pull the lines, make them a little more interesting, a little better. All right, where are we? Let's see. Oops, what am I doing? I'm going to have him fade a little bit here. Like there's a false light source. I'm going to have him fade in there. All right, he's still the class cat, so. Or she, I should say. It's a she. Bungle is her name, the class cat. I'm just holding the cork of the bottle. His arm is right there. All right, and let's see. One more thing to do with the pencils. Oh, you know what? Let me grab my reference real quick. Whoops, that's not right. There we go. Let's ref. So make sure I'm drawing these right. Where's my reference? There it is. Yeah. So I've got one up here. And then where's my other one? Yeah, so I'll put that right there. There we go. What else? I'm going to have some stuff in the background. I don't draw that yet because also there's dialogue. Where's the text? Oh, yeah, there's text here, text there. I may have to adjust this. I can do it later. I don't want to bore you with that stuff. But I might have to move some things around to accommodate for the dialogue. Of course, maybe that won't bore you. Maybe you want to see that kind of thing. Who knows? There, that's right. think if I get this done, might be just in time for the comic talk. Okay. Let's reduce this. Dr. Pipt is a magician in Oz, but I wanted him to feel a little bit like a mad scientist, because that's kind of what he is. He brings these creatures to life, like Dr. Frankenstein, and I think that's the reason I gave his wife this curly white streak, to make her like the bride of Frankenstein. Definitely didn't come from the book or any illustrations that I saw. That was pure me being influenced. Oh, I just realized I forgot to draw his rest of his beard on there. Let's fix that. Wow, can't forget that. But it's funny that I went to like ink it just sort of out of reflex. Whoa, what just happened? Oh, I just accidentally sampled the color there. That's weird. Couldn't figure out what was going on. My reference, just to make sure that I'm staying on model, and I wasn't there a little bit. I knew something was wrong. Why do I do that? Why do I not follow my... Always trust your layouts. Sometimes you think that you can outsmart your original layouts, but no, you can't. You can't outsmart them. And if you ever feel like you've gone astray on a piece, always go back to your roughs and see what your sort of energized hand movements did when you were doing the first drawings. It's usually what you wanted to do. I've done that before. I had actually like redraw entire things because I'd gotten so far away from what my initial ideas were. Uh-oh, I was wildly off. There's no way I'm going to finish inking this in time for the comic top portion. That's okay. All right, I think let's just keep going just a little bit. Almost time to switch over to comic talk. Just give me a couple of seconds here to finish up some things. Okay. So that's where we're at. I need, a couple of, maybe 20 minutes more of, I'm not even that, to ink the rest of this, and then it's off to get flatted by my wife, my able flatting assistant. She's pretty good. All right, let's put this away. And let me get set up here real quick. So on Friday, on Friday's episode of Makin and Talkin Comics, I talked about an issue of Fantastic Four. This issue right here. Whoa. Let me make sure that there we go. This issue right here, 267. I took you through it, and then so I didn't know that on at Comic-Con this weekend there would be a huge announcement from Marvel about the Fantastic Four movie, which is called Fantastic Four First Steps, which I think is an allusion to the fact that they're going to be going to the moon at some point. First steps on the moon, blah blah blah. There was also something else that alluded to that. But in the Marvel universe, there's this blue area of the moon that was was first shown in the Fantastic Four, and I think the working title of the film that they're working under is called Blue Moon, I think. So that's another clue. Anyway, so it showed about this issue, how much it meant to me, and after the announcement on, I think it was Saturday night in Hall H, all those announcements. The big announcement was Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom in the Marvel Universe. Huge news, big surprise, very cool. I think it's a great idea. See how it pans out. One thing I think is awesome about it is that I think it kills any possibility that non-comic reading audiences will think of Dr. Doom as a silly name. Because right off the bat, they're associating it with Robert Downey Jr., the most popular actor in the MCU and maybe the world right now. He's beloved. So attaching him to Dr. Doom, it immediately sells general audiences on that character. They automatically want to see it. It's fantastic persuasion. So issue 267. Turns out, and I only realized this after I put this issue back where it belonged in my collection of Fantastic Four. It turns out that the very next issue is this issue, 268, with the Mask of Doom right on the cover there, and it's this crazy cover. I don't know how they did this, what they used for it, but it's a photo cover of a physical mask of Dr. Doom, and this is pre-Photoshop, pre-CGI. This is clearly a photo of something. I've never actually looked into it, but I remember seeing this cover on the comic stands and just being blown away by how cool that was. Didn't really even know much about Dr. Doom at the time, but it's funny because at Comic-Con they brought out for the announcement, they brought out a bunch of people, maybe 20 people dressed in Doom costumes with masks. And then one person came forward and took off his mask, and it was Robert Downey Jr. So I just thought it was funny that the very next issue was the Mask of Doom and this cool cover. So I thought I'd talk about it. I haven't actually looked at it, and this is, continuing spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, blah blah blah. But if you don't want to be spoiled, you should be watching this. It starts out, with Susan Storm had lost her baby, which is it's heavy stuff for a comic like this. Beautiful storyline. Let me just look at this real quick. So I think I remember sort of this story. It's mainly about Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk. She had just joined the Fantastic Four after Secret Wars. She came back and she was part of the team. And think it's about her being alone. Oh, it's another example. I talked about this before. John Byrne, who wrote and drew the title at this point, during his long run on the series. One of the things I love, more photostats. I talked about that last time. He used photostat backgrounds for that. John Byrne, as a storyteller, was excellent at laying in backstory for readers. It was harder in 1983 to know everything from every comic and every character from every comic. There weren't tons of trades. I think the only trade out was Dark Phoenix Saga at the time. Unless you read She-Hulk or had acquired back issues, you had no idea who she was, or if you read the Avengers, I guess. But this was his way of introducing the character's backstory into the Fantastic Four, and this sort of, just this conversation with Johnny. He's really good at laying in that kind of thing, and more photostats. Wow, I didn't realize he used so many of them for the backgrounds. Works so well. I caught a couple on the previous page too. I talked about this in a previous episode where it's like photocopies of photographs, and then he'll either use that as it is or ink over it. I think he inked over it. I could be wrong though. I'm pretty sure he inked over it. And again, he's using zip tone here. So anyway, She-Hulk and Johnny go back to the Baxter building, and they're looking through some stuff there, and what do you know? They come upon the Mask of Doom, and She-Hulk is just amazed by it. It's such a great. It's so that the close up, behind the mask shot is really nice, and the way he draws the circles, sort of where she's touching the glass to indicate that there's glass there. That's really, really effective. It's funny, one of the things that I've noticed looking back on comics that I love so much is looking at some of the things that surprise me now. Like, look at this background. He's not even showing what's in these glass cases. I think if I was doing this page, I would have sort of felt responsible for creating whatever's in those cases and showing more of it, but he didn't. He just sort of do silhouettes. Even here, it's like, what is that? That's nonsense. But my point is, it's interesting what he chose to focus on in terms of, drawing out completely, and what he didn't. At this point, it wasn't important. It was to draw them out, at least in his mind. Whereas here, with this establishing shot, it's very detailed drawing. You see the whole geography of the place, and at that point, he can get a little bit more loose with the backgrounds. But again, I'm noticing more and more how little, in terms of background, like there's no background in this panel. It's just color, and sometimes you can get away with that. I usually feel lazy doing it, but I probably shouldn't, because it's such a convention, and you're not focused on the background here, and you shouldn't be. You're focused on the lots of dialogue on this panel, and the performances, so to speak, of the characters. Johnny is subtly escorting her out and away from the mask. It's good stuff. Nice use of the lettering sound effects as the background here to sort of indicate that it's really loud, and it's everything at that point in their in their world. It's really effective. Then we get in the action sequence. She-Hulk and Human Torch against the Mask. The Mask is the antagonist in this issue. And here's a shot that's basically the cover. I mean, it's essentially the cover, but drawn by Byrne. I wish I had more. I wish I'd thought to show this issue earlier than I had, which is literally right before I got on the live stream today. But I would have researched to see how they created that cover. Maybe I'll throw that in to another show, because now I'm curious. I'd forgotten about that really special cover to this issue, and I think This might have been the first issue of Fantastic Four that I ever bought after starting to read Marvel Comics in '83. It might have been, how interesting the cover was and how different it was that stood out to me. I remember the day I bought it. I remember seeing it on the shelf. So cool looking. I love this panel. There's not much to the background. It's just the crackling energy coming off of Doom, and like there's not even any shading. I mean, obviously it was a different time. The colorists had a limited way that they could do things, and that's one reason why the illustration, took center stage. These days, this panel would probably look a lot different, but it's very effective use of sort of no color on her to show that she's surrounded by energy. Another like convention of the characters is these lines on Human Torch that come from from Jack Kirby and the way he drew the Human Torch, and it's sort of it was shorthand to indicate like the fire, I guess, the flames or the directionality. It's a weird convention of the character that doesn't quite work in the modern age, but I think I saw something, some still image from the Fantastic Four movie. Indicating that something that Johnny Storm is wearing at some point has like that kind of line hatching on his uniform. That's going to be their homage to that. But it doesn't really make sense. Nobody would draw, if they created the Human Torch today, they would not draw them like this. There's no way. It's just a convention of the artist and the storytelling and the limitations of coloring at the time in the 60s and in the 80s here. More use of photostat. Very cool. And of course, Reed Richards has come in and saved the day. And what does he do? He surrounds it. John Byrne he's probably my favorite artist who ever drew Mr. Fantastic. He really made it look not silly. Let's put it that way. Him, Mike Wieringo, and Jack Kirby. Really great at doing that. And we're getting to the end here, and very cool. Oh no, maybe this wasn't the first FF I ever bought, because there's an ad for issue 12 of Alpha Flight, and I think I've been reading Fantasy Four before that. Oh, for sure, I've been reading it since issue 1. So my brain is making up timelines for my history that's not correct, but I definitely hadn't been reading it long. All right, that's my comic for the day. And it was last minute, and next week I'll get back to the one that I was going to talk about. But it was a lot of fun looking through this after the announcement of Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom and this fantastic cover, no pun intended. All right, that's all for today. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central to work on a commission. I forget what I have scheduled. I think I had to move some things around because I finished the solo piece. So I think I'm working on Hellboy tomorrow. Yeah, I think I'm going to be finishing up pencils on the Hellboy piece I've been working on. So maybe I'll see you then. In the meantime, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.